Hey.
Hey.
Okay, so we're starting our podcast, and I think we should be called Super Slugs. Good?
Yeah, I think we have to be Super Slugs at this point.
We have to be Super Slugs, yeah. I think that's kind of our decided name right now. We're recording this before we, make our YouTube account.
Yeah, we're doing this before we've done absolutely anything.
Literally, so, who knows what it might be. But we're going to start with some questions. Julie, pull up a question. What was a question that you got that would be good? Oh, wait. I just needed to say something.
Oh, God.
I was in the tub, and I was getting, all of these messages about Agent Corp, and I was reading it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, okay. And, I was getting a little bit heated, right? Because to find out that I didn't even know there was Supergirl podcasts, to begin. Let's just start there. I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't even know Supergirl podcast existed, if I'm being honest.
Right? You know what I mean, though? I didn't even think to think that people had enough to discuss about the show to make a podcast.
I know. How can you form a whole thought around the show? It's not good.
Right, but to find out that people who actually do talk about the show talk about Agent Corp really sent me. It sent me, finding out, it's just, it's crazy.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's ridiculous.
Because there's nothing to talk about. I know, I used to not really watch the show, but I've been watching, and, there's not anything going on there like that person.
I know.
You know?
I've watched the past, 3 episodes, and it's not, there's not, in the terms of Agent Corp, there's nothing to talk about.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I said it all, in that, after I got all those messages, I was, in the bathroom, and I was I'm just gonna record a long-ass message, and I was in the tub naked, and I made a 4-minute video, just, going off, with my kombucha bottle covering, the lens, obviously. I was going off, and then I was gonna upload it, but it wouldn't upload, so, I just need to say some things. There's, nothing going on there, and it is so reminiscent to me, the whole Agent Corp reaching thing. It's so reminiscent of Season 3 Supergirl, when, SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con happened, and then everyone, and everyone was so upset. They were like, oh, we're gonna be Rain Corps now, and then
I know, that was goofy. Rain Corp had no substance,
Absolutely
no
not.
flavor.
No flavor. There was no flirtation, nothing. So it's very troubling to see this cycle happen again, because you see people being like, ooh, we stand them now, and then, there's nothing going on.
Grow up.
Exactly.
Stick to your guns.
Yeah, it's bad. But, moving past that, we're gonna answer some questions so we can actually, kickstart our podcast that will not be, Agent Corp reaching crackheads. So, yeah, go ahead, Julie.
Yeah. One of my favorite questions I got was, what has been y'all's favorite thing that has happened since you joined the Supercorp fandom?
Oh, yeah. We were, talking earlier, and I think she pre-read that, and we were both ooh. Because there's a lot that's happened, within the group of people.
There's been so much that happened.
Yeah. Julie, what did you say? You started saying it was the drama back then, right?
Yeah, my favorite thing is the drama from back then, season 2 drama.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever half the people were we have to be nice to Chris Wood, he's just this character, and then the rest of us were no, we don't like this man, we won't like this man, and then all the drama, we were fighting ourselves and everybody else.
This was this was season 2, I think, when we really all went off the deep end. When before 2X12 aired, it was when Mon-El actually officially became a slave owner that we just started going. That is when it became a big deal. And it was actually when I entered. Julie, I think you were around before me, weren't you? You were, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Minorly.
Yeah, she had her toe in it. But I remember when I came in, what happened was, my good friend now, Mike, he was this gay guy. He's this Chris Wood thirster or whatever. And he was really into Chris. So he was, supporting Carmel because, Chris obviously likes Carmel. That's a given. We know that. And I hated him, and I had him blocked. And, but now we're good now, obviously, because he stopped, liking them being together when it got really toxic and really bad, around, what was it, 2X13?
Yeah, immediately after, was, he was a slave over in one episode, and the next episode he was toxic.
Yeah, and, there's just, it's funny just because there's so much that goes on, within I don't even know, like, inter-community bickering. And then there's also, like, a full-out, like, war craziness with other groups of people. And it's really funny, but really just, like, intense.
Yeah, another, I know it was favorite thing, but another favorite thing was first Zimbio poll. Like, so last year's Zimbio, when I was being mean to the Klexas, and I had my header as us beating Klexa.
Oh, yeah.
And, God, that was so funny.
A lot of the time, too, it's not that, like, full disclaimer, I remember when I'm, like, just such a slut for drama sometimes. Like, I'll get a mood, and I'm like, let's just go, like, stir the pot, like, kick the hornet's nest. Oh, my God, me
too. I love to just stir the pot, and, like, I'll start drama, and then other people hop in on it, and then I leave, because I'm like, okay, that mood's over, it's past.
Yeah, literally, like, I get bored with it. People will still be sending me death threats, and I'm like, oh, guys, I said that, like, 5 minutes ago. Get over it.
Grow up. Like, send me the death threats in the 5 minutes I'm doing the drama. Like,
yeah. Like, and, like, you know, I made this gif once of, like, the Supercorp shooting way hots for no reason.
I remember that.
And because, like, okay, apparently one of the characters cheated on the other, and they had been making all these posts.
No, they, like, cheated on each other.
Yeah.
From what I know, they cheated on each other. One of them had a secret wife.
But they weren't even together anymore, but they were legally married. So, like, I'll give them that. But, like, okay, we don't really know this story.
No, they were together. Like, they were fully, like, dating.
Were they? I don't know. See, I don't know any of the details.
See, no, okay. So they were dating, and then the short one cheated on the tall one first.
Oh, and no.
And then the tall one was like, oh, well, I have a whole wife.
Right.
But we're separated.
That's a lot. But so we weren't even beefing with them really. They were just making these really long posts being like, our show is better. We have healthy relationship. We have canon this and this.
Are you tired of being queer baited? Try Way Hot. Or what's this fucking show? Why not Earp?
And like I'm friends with Danny, and Danny and I have like, you know, we've been connected for a long time, and like, you know, they're really cool and stuff. Like we get along great. But I was just like going full throttle against my friend Danny's like little fandom for no reason. I was just bored. Like it was really dumb.
It's fun to stir the pot. Like I used to stir the pot with the Sandvers a lot.
Oh, me too. When me and El Sapphics were like, ooh, do you remember that stuff?
Whenever you guys were enemies?
Yeah, we were full on enemies, and it was hilarious. And then one day we started like bashing asexuals, and we were like, oh my gosh, we should be friends. Like,
oh my gosh, maybe we have maybe there's a Venn diagram of our interests.
There is a Venn diagram, and you know, still to this day, I'm like, you know, obviously not a fan of that, and I do have critical moments, but like, you know, we're all just one big happy family. At the end of the day, I mean, I feel more connected to crazy super cat reachers than I do anyone outside of the Supergirl fandom.
Oh, like, I love starting shit with the super cats because they're all like 97 and they'll call you ageist.
Yeah, they'll call you ageist just for like being like, I don't like that there's such a huge age gap. I don't like the power difference. And they're like, oh, you think Calista Flockhart is so ugly? And I think
one of my favorite things I ever got, I said, Cat Grant has a dusty pussy. And someone said, you know, you're not going to be 20 years old forever. And I said, I'll kill myself before I get old.
I just got a really interesting message. Somebody said, also I agree, Julie, but somebody just said, looking at Supercorp and the queer coding, let's just move past, okay, let me just reread it and let's just ignore the fact that they use that word. Looking at Supercorp and the queer coding in Supergirl from the most basic level of the writer's room, do you think we can identify which writers are pro or anti based on the writing credits in Supercorp episodes? So I don't think that there's any real definitive people that you can peg, because the thing is, in the writing process, we don't know exactly what they're doing. We don't know if other people are editing the scripts. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like there's no way, like we can for sure, like Paula was, because Paula was on every Supercorp episode.
Paula still likes Supercorp tweets. So
Paula still likes Supercorp tweets. Derek is, but he's just a fan of a good story, and he thinks Supercorp is a good story.
Because it is, but yeah.
Because it is, like, so he's less of a Supercorp and more of just a writer who's trying to do his job right.
Right.
And then the new guy, Eric. He's
right?
Yeah, Eric is one of the most active on Twitter.
He seems sympathetic, but he sometimes says weird stuff.
He seems more like he's just a writer trying to like do his job. And he just wants to appeal to somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
And he sees us as a big group to appeal to, but I don't think he's an actual, like, Supercorp. But even then, like, they all work on the episode. There's probably, like, a main writer for the episode, but, they all work on it.
Yeah, for sure.
They have to workshop it.
Yeah. Someone sent me, I want to hear y'all on the podcast spill the bitter tea about that Supercorp drought during season 4 because that nonsense hurt. Where to even start on all of, like, just the absolute bullshit that they've pulled? Like, there's just, you know what I mean?
Like,
yeah, go on, Julie.
I mean, we know why they're doing it. We know why.
Why? Explain, Julie. Tell everybody.
Okay. Well, it's because Jessica Queller's a liar. And
just burn the witch.
So she's a liar. Robin is a liar. And they had said that there's going to be so much more Supercorp this season.
They did.
They're going to focus on Carly in the season. Blah, 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 blah. And it's not because, and only because, the crazy Carmels are like, Chris is going to come back. They needed them for the first part of the season.
Perhaps. So here's what I think happened with the season 4 stuff. I think that a lot of, like, what's been going on with the show is because, McCod complained. He tweeted that he complained, and I was very excited because I used to be a lot bigger fan of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
used to love James. I used to love James's character. I liked McCod because he played James, and I was like, you know what? He's just a dude. He's doing whatever he is,
Right. A lot of his tweets, I mean, not even tweets, but, like, his Instagram posts, like, even in support of Samvers, which I have, obviously mixed feelings on, but, like, he was very down-to-earth about it, and, like, I felt, like, very respectful, but he's just gotten, like, this bitter jealousy and just has started to show this very narcissistic side and has been rude. Like, just for no reason, like, very rude to us and, like, very, like, not even hostile, but just, like, I just feel like dismissive almost and like trying to stir the pot, but like with a whole group of people. And it's just, I don't understand why he decided to take that approach because before he was like very kind to fans, and I mean I haven't seen anybody directly attacking him, you know what I'm saying, or being like mean or hostile. So the fact that dogs there's dogs going on in Julie's area, but it's just really disappointing to see from him. And, I really don't like, the Lena and James thing. I really don't. But, if he gets back into...
I think they put too much of McCod into James.
Huh? Yeah,
they put too much of McCod into James.
Yeah, he's been saying, like, I've been putting more of myself into James and stuff. And, I think that has actually weakened the character in some ways. Because even though he's been getting more screen time, which I am objectively glad about, than he was in season 2. Because of annoying-ass Chris. But, like, it hasn't been, I feel like, good.
It hasn't been good.
No, I just haven't enjoyed it. I felt like there's a lot of, like, I feel like a lot of his character's motives come from what I would think are not exactly noble places. It seems like to come from jealousy, which can be okay, but, like, he's beating up people who are, like, poor people. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's
putting too much of himself into the character, and I mean, every actor's gonna bring bits of them into the character. Like, that's...
Right. Well, Chris definitely did, and that was not a good thing for him.
Chris absolutely did.
It was a weakness, because he made him horrible.
Yeah, exactly, because he's just not... he's not an interesting person.
Oh, no. He's, like, rude and annoying, and basically an overgrown theater kid.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's so rude to Katie. Like, there's videos of him being rude, and I don't understand, like, how anyone can sympathize with that. He genuinely treats her, his co-cast member, just like she's just stupid. Like, he just talks down to her on camera, and it's happened before. You can go watch the interviews where he was at that Comic-Con. He was rude to her, and like they obviously make digs at each other. Like, when she made comments about him having boobs after he gained like a little bit of weight, that was rude as hell.
Yeah, and then also who's not staring at this man's hips, and she was like
like, that's just unnecessary. He's getting a compliment and Katie decides to just disparage him. Like, that's not great, but like, he started it, and of course I'm going to sympathize with her because she's a female cast member, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And he is rude.
Oh, absolutely. And then like, just like James in general, like his season one James, he was pretty good. I was actually interested in like James' storyline. Because everything he did was in support of the main character, which is what other characters are for.
Yeah, like, he was able to develop and kind of have his own things going on that were, you know...
separate, but...
Yeah, but they were bleeding into the main storyline
exactly.
in, like, a way that built up the entire story. You know, it was very interesting to watch, and I don't think that season 1 has no flaws. I mean, I could do an entire,
season
like, 2-hour podcast
was not good.
about it. No, there were a lot of flaws.
There's a lot of
and
flaws
people
with season 1, but I do think that season 1 was one of the stronger seasons just because they weren't trying to... They focused on Kara's story. They wanted it... They were like, this is the story of Kara Danvers, Kara Zor-El. Mm-hmm. This is Supergirl. This is her show.
Right.
But then, like, season 2, there's like, this might be kind of Supergirl's show, but we also have to have 19 other storylines.
Yeah, and most of those storylines were about yours truly, Mon-El of Daxam. Aw, and some.
Yeah, aw, and some.
People are like, oh, I didn't mind him at first. He wasn't that bad. And, like, I can see where you're coming from, but I just always thought he was kind of unnecessary for the tone of the show. Yeah. I just thought he was kind of annoying.
And, like, I think if they would have gone with the, like, he was comedic relief and he was a sidekick and they didn't have a romantic relationship, I think that would have been okay. I would not have minded him because he wouldn't have gotten the chance to be terrible.
For sure, yeah. It's just, you know, there's just a lot there that they did that was really annoying and just unnecessary. But, like, I saw something once that someone was like, you know, he could have just been popping in and out, like, for 30 seconds every episode. Like, look at this silly thing that I did. And that would have been great, you know, but he really did... He replaced James's love interest, which, okay, we're not even going to get into all that right now because I will go off for like 20 minutes.
It's tone deaf. Like, what?
It's disrespectful.
It's disrespectful. It's tone deaf. The CW wants to be like the woke channel, so to speak, but they're the most tone deaf. They have some of the most tone deaf storylines I've ever heard.
Yeah. It's just, and then there's the issue with 2X01 and Alex finding Clark attractive, and then Kara not finding the guy she was pining after attractive once he was within her reach, and the fact that they were going to make Kara the gay character, but they pulled out because they got scared, because they were going to do that. They were, the entire episode.
Like, they were 100% setting up for Kara to be the gay character.
Yeah,
and then
they were.
At the last minute, they chickened out. They got scared. They got worried. Chris and Melissa were cheating on their partners with each other. Like, they're like, oh shit, we can use this.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's not good, but we could do an entire podcast episode about season 2 episode 1 and break it down, because that just, it makes me sweat with anger when I rewatch it. Like, the fact that they pulled out of it, the fact that the later episodes didn't follow through with some of the threads that were put out, it's just like, ugh. But anyway, read another question.
You read a question, it's your turn.
Okay. Somebody said, podcast question, women, what is it about them?
Can't live with them or without them.
I can't even get into that video of Melissa and, like, all the things that it just implies. Her mind, you know what I mean? Like,
her mind, it amazes me.
Name 3 reasons Supercorp is your OTP. Ugh, my OTP. I think an element of it is the fact that I found it when I was in a really bad place, and I know that's, like, super sappy, but, like, it did bring me, like, a lot of, like, happiness and purpose, and I'm obviously, like, in a better place now, and, like, excited about school and whatnot in my own way, but, like, I was just, like, not thriving, like, when I found it, but, like, you know, getting into that, and, like, just, like, kind of, like, the drama and stuff, it did kind of, like, help propel me forward in life, because, like, I just felt motivated by something, and, like, you know what I mean? Feeling motivated by something can be all the difference in certain ways. Yeah. But that's not, like, a reason why. I just think that they just have, like, it. You know? Like, that's my first reason. You look at them and that's it. What about you, Julie? You give your first reason.
I think one of the reasons is, from, like, their first scene together, you could tell that whatever dynamic they're about to have is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because there was like, oof, you know?
Because Clark did not trust her, Clark,
obviously, yeah.
you could see. And then Carl was like, well, I think I can trust her. And then it really showed, like, Lena being there made a difference in, like, their, like, Clark and Kara. It's one of the little things that is very different about them.
Yeah. I think my second reason would just be aesthetically, just like they look good. Like there's just like the way they interact with each other and like all that, like what they wear together, the way they walk together, the way they just it's just so clean. Like it's like cinched, Like I look at it and I'm like, oof, like that's it.
Yeah, like they look good.
Yeah. Is that your second too, Julie?
They look so good.
They do look good. But third is just like they have like that really compelling and just like fascinating and just amazing thing within tropes and within real life that I like, because there's certain people, I mean, I've moved a lot, and there's certain people that you'll meet that you have these connections with. You know what I mean? From the moment that you meet them, that person can change your life and affect you. And I just feel like, Cara and Lena are so affected by each other. And that's so interesting, Against all odds, they just like they have like this not even affinity, I mean probably affinity, but they have like just this, I don't even know, this vibe between them that's so fascinating. And like so much of what they do is just so, it's just out there, like I know the bridal carries, the clothes parallels, like there's so much going on there, and it's so interesting. They're just I love them, like I really do. That's why they're so fun to watch,
Yeah,
Julie.
Yeah, and then like my third reason is, as different as the circumstances are, they have very similar like backgrounds.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Where like
yeah, you're right. They run parallel, you know what I mean?
They run parallel, and Carl always admits to having like, she's admitted twice or three times, I cannot remember, just having like, she feels like the weight of the world's on her shoulders, like she has to be the hero.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Lena absolutely does feel this exactly the same way, because she's the only Luther that's not evil.
She's got to clear her family's name, so she has this huge burden on her too.
So they both have like, they have very similar backgrounds and dynamics that work very well together.
And I just thought of something that I haven't even seen anyone bring up. They both have like adopted parents. Like they've got Eliza, they've got Jean, and Lillian. Yeah. Like there's all this. And here's another little tidbit, guys. Lena's mom is not dead. Absolutely not. And neither was Allura. Their parents are alive. Lionel probably not. Kara's dad probably not, because they're just, they don't matter. They're men, they're stupid. Allura, though, I guarantee you, Allura is alive, and we already know that. But
she is. Like they showed that
Irish
last season, didn't they?
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. But Lena's Irish mommy,
I think she's alive. I think that's something that they're gonna pull off the back burner at some point.
Yeah, for sure. Her mom's just gonna roll up. She's just gonna be like, hey.
Incoherent Irish, and everyone's gonna be like, oh no.
Yeah, and I really hope they reveal her mom's like part alien or something to prove like Lena's intellect over Lex, despite her being so young when she beat him at chess after just learning it. But yeah, someone said, what ep do you think she will reveal that she is Supergirl to Lena?
I think it's gonna be the finale of this season.
I hope so too, because like, oof, delicious, like
yeah, I really do think it, like, they've built it up too much. There's so much. They had that 3-episode arc, and the reveal's gonna be involving Linda for sure.
Maybe I hope so too, because I we got to do a separate podcast about Linda, because I
love her.
Linda, she's so amazing. I'm gonna like literally cry. I would love to do, what we could do, like an episode reaction to Linda. That would be great. Oh, like just reacting to the episode that she was first in 4X16.
Oh yeah. Oof. Yeah.
An episode. Like I just, not to be embarrassing, but like I love that shit. Like I'm like tearing up, because I really just, wow, her mind.
Wow. The power of women.
The power of women, literally. Oh, it's just, it's too delicious, dude. It's just so good.
God, yeah. This question kind of made me laugh. It was predict what season it will be canon that Lena does in fact have like the red sunroom, and I think that everyone I think as much as we all know what's gonna happen, they're not gonna show that in the show. It's not Riverdale.
Don't be a coward.
It's not Riverdale.
Dude, there was a leaked script of Iris and Barry from The Flash where, like, they were doing weird sex stuff with his, like, vibrating body.
Please
and he would, like,
stop
face
that.
her. And, like, the CW didn't include that, so I don't think they'll include the red sunroom. Maybe they will allude to it, like, ooh,
I think
get the sunroom ready.
Like, I think it might be... I think it would be alluded to, mentioned, joked about, but we're never gonna see it, and we won't know for sure if it's ever canon, because it's gonna be...
Don't be a coward.
It's gonna be so
like, in
vague.
No.
You know I'm
in
right.
Riverdale. No, but in Riverdale, they had that, like, crazy chony scene.
Yeah, but I did say...
Like...
I just said it's not Riverdale.
True, but, like, isn't it, though?
I really don't think it is.
Don't be a coward. Someone asked, what was your first lesbian ship? You know what? I want to say Clove and Katniss from the Hunger Games, but that wouldn't be true because the first one that I was, like, very actually, like, moved and affected by would be Korosami for sure. Because I was so young. I think I was maybe my first year of high school or maybe late middle school when that actually happened. And I was so moved by it. Like, at the time, I started doing 20 push-ups every morning, which, like, I still do because of Cora's arms. Like, I was so infatuated by it and so happy because of it. And, of course, I've criticized a lot of what the showrunners did leading up to it. But, you know, for me at the time, it really did make a difference. You know what I mean? Like, it, you know, it was a lot. What about you, Julie?
I cannot remember.
You are valid.
Like,
there's only ever been Supergirl.
It's only ever been Supergirl. No, I do know, like, okay, so in high school and shit, I just read books a lot.
Ooh.
You know, like, I just read all the time, and I wasn't involved in anything. I didn't have, whatever. So, I think my first...
What a jock.
Huh?
I said, what a jock, because he read all the time. Just jokes.
Yeah, I played softball. Ruh-roh.
Someone said...
When
did each of you... What?
I do know that, I think the first fandom I was ever actually in, that was actually, like, a fandom, because I've been in, like, bandom forever, which is
yes
evil.
We know about Paramore. Go on.
We know about Paramore. Listen, I had, like, a band blog. It was mostly Paramore, but I had whatever other shitty emo bands, not that Paramore was a shitty emo band, that I would listen to. Like, it was a bandom blog. But I think the first the first fandom I think I ever was in was actually the what are the Klexas.
Yeah, I think you weren't you? You've told me that once.
Yeah. I was a Klexa, and that's why I'm allowed to make fun of them.
Yeah. Someone said, when did each of you get into Supergirl and why? You go first, Julie.
I got into Supergirl sometime before season 2 aired. After season 1, I don't remember why.
Melissa hot.
I think Melissa just hot, and that's why I joined. But I think actually I was bored. I was looking for something on Netflix, and season 1 was on Netflix because it was before season 2 aired, and me and my dad have always kind of talked about comic books and stuff, and Supergirl's actually one of his favorite heroes.
Ooh.
He has a few, like, really old Supergirl comics.
Supercorp? You said Supercorp. He does. Wow.
No, he
progressive.
he has old Supergirl comics, like, in his big comic thing, so that's something we always kind of talked about growing up, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch the show.
Ooh, I like that.
And then, you know, so I watched season 1 and I was like, this is goofy, okay?
Goofy but cute.
It was cute, it was goofy, it was a little stupid. It was cute though.
It sure was. For me, it was, I was on YouTube. I've told this story before. I was on YouTube and I was watching Harley and Ivy videos. And I was like, wow, I love them. And like, I was such a clown. Like I told you, I was going through a really hard time. Like, I would just like lay in my bed and like rewatch this one video where they were talking about like, ooh, prison. Like, I swear, like the person had edited.
Okay, so you'd put on your clown wig and lay in bed.
Yeah, and like it was one of the characters from Jane the Virgin that was like edited together with Harley, and like they made her skin green for her to be Ivy. And I was like so obsessed with that. I would like watch it so much. I would just be like, yes. Like I would pull up the same video and watch it like literally 10 times. It was so bad. And then I would like go do something else, like I don't know, like go get like a banana and chop it up and then eat half of it, and then I would go back to my room and watch it again. But in my recommended videos beneath it, I saw this like Carlina bite video, and I saw it and I was like, wow, they're really cute. And so I clicked it, and then, you know, it was like it blew a hole in my chest and in my brain and just in my like groin, just like I was a changed woman when I can't even, like I hear this song still and I just like, you know, like whoo, you know, it was so impactful for me. It was like a moment in history. It was like a staple, and I was like, oof. And then I decided that they were mine, and then I you know, went online and just kind of became Hollet, and then
oh god.
and then you guys know what happened from there.
Actually, I never followed you when you were Hollet.
Oh, fake fan then, huh?
Yeah.
You probably saw me, though.
No, I didn't. I genuinely did not know who you were.
Oh, that's so fake. But I was around. I was out there.
I mean, I probably, like, saw some of your shit and I was like, oh, she's on crack. And then I didn't ever think about... I never was like, who is Hollet? I never was curious.
That's such a fake fan thing to say. I bet you're lying. You were on Hollet stalking it every
I
night.
swear to God, like, on my life.
I miss it though. I remember I was I guess like less chaotic, or in like a way back in those days. Like I kind of was more of like a schmoozer. I was only really mean to like the Carmels and not really the Supercats, because I remember I was friends with a couple of them who decided to be snakes because they got rejected by some girl in Texas. Let's not even get into all that right now. But
we don't have time for all that.
We don't have time for all that. It's like a lot to unpack. Like you guys don't even know. But but yeah, so it's just been a different thing and a different journey, but I do miss that URL because it was just so me. Like I look in the mirror every morning and I see myself after I floss, and I like that you throw in that you floss.
Take care of your gums, kids, everybody. This is an educational podcast.
And okay, wait. Like brief moment of education. Everyone make sure you turn your phones on airplane mode before you go to sleep, and then completely shut them off so that you don't get EMF waves like giving you headaches. I'm serious, it works. Please do it. Or
ignore that and just roll over every 10 minutes and check your phone like one of them rotisserie chickens.
Don't. It'll irradiate your brain. You'll get like tumors or
something. Yeah, I've already beat tumors once. I'm fine. I'm immune.
Oh, right, I forgot. Yeah, you did. Your mind.
I'm immune, so... Yeah. I think maybe if it irradiates my brain enough, I'll get powers.
Okay. I'm actually on board with that. I think that you should, like, boost your EMF waves by watching YouTube videos on silent at night and then putting your phone in your mouth.
I'll go to sleep watching Critical Role.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Okay.
I'm looking at my computer right now. I have a tab open, and it's Campaign 2, Episode 19 of Critical Role. I'm 2.5 hours into it.
You're gonna go full Captain America with all this radiation. Like, I swear. You're gonna wake up one morning just, like, male Chris Evans. Alright.
God.
Any more questions? Like, what's the 411, or are we done?
This one's, what do you love most about Supercorp?
Everything. Like, what's not to love?
I actually cannot think of, like, a most, you know?
I have a most. Their way that the flirting, it makes me cringe. Like, I feel like I'm intruding watching.
You know how they flirt? You know what their flirting is like?
What?
You know when you go to church camp and you get a...
Stop! I'm having more flashbacks. Stop. But go on.
And you get a crush on a girl at church camp. And you don't know how to flirt with her because everyone there is gonna, kill you if you're a homo.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And so you're trying to flirt with her in a way that no one else is gonna pick up on, and it's so bad that she doesn't even pick up on it. But she's also doing the same thing, but you're not picking up on it, and neither of you know that you're flirting with each other because you're at fucking church camp.
My experience was worse than that, but we don't have time for all that.
We don't have time to unpack all of that. But no, that's how Supercorp flirts. They flirt like they're on a first date at church camp, and they're both like, it's
stop it.
It's fucking.
That's a cruel way.
It's June. You're in like deep East Texas at a Bible church encampment.
A Bible church encampment. Are you okay?
And you're sitting outside the tabernacle playing like ping pong.
Stop! Did you have to bring up the tabernacle? I'm like literally sweating right now. Like, you don't know, there's beads of like perspiration down my chin, like, you know?
Yeah. I'm also sweating that I unlocked that memory.
Oh, before we go, I think that there's one more thing we need to discuss. Let's discuss the last episode. Yeah, for sure.
What was the last episode?
What was what? It was 4X17. Let me actually look at what the title of it was. Let me look at my legal copies that I like randomly attained.
Let me get my legal copy of Supergirl that I purchased.
From the iTunes store?
From Amazon Prime.
From Amazon Prime. Our Lord Bezos.
Look, I know everyone wants to like boycott Amazon, but you know what? I'm not strong enough.
Oh, you know what? You're valid. I don't know what the episode name was called, but it was the episode
All About Eve, right?
All About Eve. There we go. The brain on this.
Yeah, I was looking at my super legal copy of Supergirl.
Swag. So what do we think about it? Did you like the episode?
I think it was weaker of the weakest of this 3-episode arc.
That was a struggle. You mean the last 2 episodes? It was weaker than the last 2?
Of the 3-episode Supercorp arc that we got.
Oh, yeah.
It was the weakest.
Oh, for sure. And that could be attributed to dial-up screeching, but we're not even going to get into that right now. You know? I can't even give my opinion about, like, everything that happened in that episode on this podcast, because I'm gonna just get, like, hate, which is funny to me, but, like, on our first podcast...
I'll say it.
Let's move on to talking about...
Let me say what I need to say.
Wait, we'll do that next time. Don't you worry. But, like, let's talk about how in sync they were.
Oh, my God.
Hello. And, like, the healthy way that they worked out that problem.
I know.
Hello.
And
it was
Lena's
so
shocked.
nice.
She's never been apologized to, ever in her life.
Yeah, I don't think so with the way that she acted. Like, oof.
And she... Wow.
Yeah. Just, like, the way that they, affect each other and stuff is so good. And, I did think it was a bit weak. I'm thinking over it, and there wasn't any aspects of the episode that really stood out to me. And I watched the whole thing, but nothing really stood out to me besides,
we watched the whole thing
Linda.
on FaceTime.
Yeah. Linda in the tunnel with Eve just being rude. I was like, oh, yes, her mind.
I liked that. The end was really cool with Linda icing all those people.
Oh my goodness, her mind. Like, she just went in there and just,
And I do think
and her facial expressions.
It's very interesting what they're doing, which, nature versus nurture, because her nature is Kara.
Right.
She defaults to being Kara.
For sure, yeah.
Like, we saw that with how she cared about the kid. I can't remember his name.
Russian kid.
The little Russian kid.
The little Russian kid.
So she cared about him, and she was just curious. She wanted to meet Lena. She was Kara. She was
She had this innocence about her and, like, this,
yeah, she was what we all love about Kara.
Really, yeah.
Without, like, any of the guilt, because Kara carries so much guilt.
Right. And it reminded me of how Lena was like, you know, I know you believe that everything is good and kind, and that's one of the things I love about you. I do think that Linda has that quality about her in some ways until that, you know, little Russian boy died. And it, you know, it messed her up a little bit to see someone, like that grief. I think some of her, like, internalized, I do think she is like Kara, and she definitely probably has some of the wounds of Kara, or maybe she doesn't, but I think that pain affects her and Kara very significantly.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, like, Kara, she takes her pain, she internalizes it. Mm-hmm. And she tries to push it aside because she's like, okay, I cannot focus on me. I have to save the world. Yeah. But Linda, she doesn't have any of that. She doesn't have any of that sense of, I'm the hero. So she got hit with pain and she was like, okay, I'm going to let this affect me and I'm going to feel it.
Really, this is just a Linda Lee fan like moment here. Like, I just love her. Like, she is so intriguing. She is an incredible character. Like, she is incredible. The fact that they were able to execute, like, a character that is the lead character of the show, but is almost like this sister version of her. I know, like a twin
it's interesting.
So good.
I'm, like, surprised, because I don't expect anything good from Supergirl.
Yeah, me neither. I'm, you know, I have my hopes, but, like...
I have, like, hopes, but, like, I keep my head low. I'm not, you know... I don't go in expecting much, but I'm surprised because this is very good.
Yeah. Like, it just exceeded my expectations with how incredible that episode was. I loved that episode. Like, I constantly think about it. It was good. It was good. Now, the last episode, All About Eve, All About Eve wasn't as good. But, you know, I think the House of L episode.
The House of L was incredible. But one thing I did like about All About Eve was the very end with Linda, because it shows that she was absolutely manipulated. Like, she's been manipulated by Lex. She is... Yeah. Now, she's what Lex wanted.
Yeah.
But now...
Wanted Lena to be, almost.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I do think that...
He's making Lena.
Yeah, essentially, yes. Like, I was thinking about this a lot, because I was thinking, you know, if Lex is, like, a father to Linda, then does that make Lena, like, the aunt? And then I thought about it a little more, and then I thought, the way that Lex sort of talks to Lena and engages with her is more like someone who's trying to be almost maternal, because he tries to manipulate her and make her better. Siblings don't really do that with each other.
Just mommy issues on the podcast.
Stop it. But yeah. But you know, she was talking about in that one episode before House of L, I think, where he was sick with, like, cancer or whatever. She was talking about, like, how, you know, he had told her, like, oh, like, he didn't he said that he didn't give her the praise that she'd so desperately wanted because he knew it wouldn't make her continue to try to be better. And that's a very like paternal thing to do, I would argue.
Oh, and it absolutely is.
Yeah, but Lena's, like, a little bit too smart. And she has the worldly knowledge to know, oh, my brother's being evil. But Linda totally doesn't.
So, what Lex is doing, on, like, a clean slate, he can make his perfect sister. Yeah.
You know, in some ways, too, I actually really love what they're doing with it, because in the way that... I totally lost my train of thought. Great for podcast moments. But, like, no, but, like... So, Linda has just become, obviously, this completely manipulated thing by Lex. But an interesting thing is, Linda, when she awoke, obviously, because Kara has this, like, innate need for her sister Alex, for whatever reason in the show, Linda was born with that. She wanted to know who Alex was. She wanted to have that attachment to Alex. And now that attachment to Alex is had with Lex. She has that feeling. The feelings that Kara has for Alex, Linda has for Lex now. You know what I'm saying? They are each other's
and, like,
Alex.
As it makes sense, like, okay. So I have two older sisters. Right. And Kara definitely sees Alex as her older sister. And so there's always, like, this innate thing where you're like, okay, I'm scared or I'm worried. I don't know what's happening. I wish my sister was here. And that's exactly what happened to Linda. She woke up. She didn't know who she was.
Right.
She didn't know anything, and she's like, the only thing I do know is there's a name Alex, and something about that makes me want to go towards it.
Right, like she had like this bond, this sibling type,
and like sibling
familial
bonds are, if you are close to your sibling, if you do have any sense of like a semi-positive relationship with your sibling,
it's powerful stuff.
It's a powerful
it is powerful
bond.
stuff, for sure. Yeah, like even, you know, me and my sisters don't always get along, but we do. If someone were to fuck with my sisters, oh, I would lose my mind, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my sisters raised me.
Right.
They're 9 and 10 years older than I am.
And I raised mine, so it all kind of coincides. But, you know, I think, you know, much in the same way that, you know, Linda, she has Lex, who she thinks is Alex. And then Kara, you know, has Alex, of course. So those two have their, like, familial sibling bond. And then who is the outlier for Linda? Someone outside of all this that she connects to and is fiercely, like, enamored with and drawn into by Lena. Lena is the key.
And so it
Lena
shows that, like,
key.
so it, and also, like, okay, so Linda is a clone of Kara, but she's not exactly the same. She has some of Kara's lust over feelings. Why would she choose Lena?
It's just so good.
You know,
I'm
so
crying.
it only goes to show that Kara has these intense feelings for Lena that she doesn't talk about. She writes about in her fucking diary. But, so, that's just something to chew on. Very interesting.
Just something to think about, everybody. Just something to stew on. Like, yeah, like, it's good. It's good. Because Kara and Linda both have this intense fixation and draw towards and bond with Lena outside of their sibling bonds. And that's just, oof, that is some delicious stuff.
That is interesting.
It's just really good. It just, because the fact that they chose, like, Lena is very interesting, because they could have, you know, easily chose, like, James.
Yeah,
and could have been like, oh, you know, he's connected because of Superman, and Superman is, you know,
yeah, and
the
like
cousin.
at one point, James and Kara were close. They were friends.
Yeah.
And I do
sure.
think that they try to do that still, but McCall doesn't get along with the cast members enough to have any sort of
Probably because
chemistry.
he does his annoying theater kid. He does his annoying theater kid thing.
Oh, God,
just
yeah.
like, literally just like Chris, except, okay, Chris is so much worse. I really do not like him, because I've seen him be so rude and disrespectful, and Mikad has done his fair share, but I don't think Mikad is this bad. I think they're like theater kids, you know, like they want that, like, attention, and they will be very
do anything they
need
to do to get that attention.
Right. Like, when I get bored on the internet. Like, I understand, Mikad, but, like,
I mean, oh yeah, absolutely.
Stop.
I can relate. I get it. Sometimes we just need to go wild, go crazy, go stupid.
Yeah, for sure. But, yeah, I think that the show right now is going in an amazing direction. People who are seeing things between Lena and Alex are very reminiscent of people... Yeah, well... just to be a little more constructive, are very reminiscent of people who have made claims about Lena and other characters like Sam. There was nothing going on there. And, when I made my little audio recording in the tub, I talked about how the fact that people say that when Katie has gone so hard and, like, just consistently has been doing the same romantic acting choices with Melissa that she's been doing for Our Princess for Christmas with the lip bite, the whole tussling hair on the side of the couch from dates, just, like, the same romantic behavior as, like, Dracula, right? So she's consistently doing these things that show she has romantic interest. And then she's, like, trying so hard, like, to do very menial, like, bad kisses for James. And, like, barely putting, like, her neck out there. Like, she is doing a terrible job on purpose. And she's not flirting with Alex, the character. And she didn't flirt with Sam, the character, in a way that was anywhere near the amount of, like,
she's done with
how hard she went for Melissa.
I do know that Agent Corp tried to use that, like, Alex, you know, woke Lena up or whatever, right?
When she checked her pupils, like, you're supposed to do when someone's woken up. She was checking her pupils
to make sure she wasn't
concussed.
Like, incredibly concussed. And, like, Kara was off trying to get to the source. She was fighting Lex.
Yeah.
And Alex, as much as, you know, I don't really want her in scenes with, like, Lena, because I don't really care about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Alex is still part of, like, the recon team.
For sure, yeah.
Like, so it doesn't, like, the way they set it up, it wasn't romantic. It was Alex doing her job.
Literally.
That she is paid for.
Yeah, and it seems rude to me almost that there's been so many, like, significant and powerful romantically coded moments that so many news, like, outlets who review the show and stuff have talked about with Cara and Lena, that people will just, like, go willy-nilly over anything and be like, oh, let us have our fun.
People are too flaky. Stick to your guns. Yeah,
like, you can have your fun, but you gotta realize, you know, as soon as you start allowing yourself to go crazy when Katie is just simply in the same room, and like, as another chick, and, you know, chilling with her normally, as soon as you show the people who look through our social media, and they do, trust me, there's lots of evidence. I know for a fact. As soon as you show them that you'll go just as hog wild for, like, the most menial things, then they're gonna realize, oh, we don't have to give them any more Supercorp scenes. We don't have to, like, have them flirt. And, like, dude, you're getting in the way of Supercorp, so stop. You're annoying.
Stop, like,
please.
For real.
For real, stop. Shit. But, like, let's just wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening if you got this far. If you want us to talk about anything else, let us know in the comments. If there's anything that we said throughout the video that you'd like to hear from, like, totally let me know. I got some messages being like, oh, you should do some fanfic reviews, you should do, like, you know, some you know, like, what was it, like, I don't even know, like, what do you call that, reactions, reviews, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, like, let us know if there's anything else you guys would like to see, and if you'd like to see anything like this again, because, like, I'm totally down. I like talking to Julie. Julie's cool. What?
Keep saying C. It's more of a here thing, where it's a podcast.
Whatever. Same thing, kind of. Anything you guys would like to sense from us. You
can just send us messages, like, whatever.
Yeah, like, whatever. Just, like, let us know, like, what you're down to hear, and, like, if you'd like us to discuss and do more, because, like, I'm down for it. Julie's down for it. Yeah, this is just a big stream of consciousness. Yes. We're having fun at being ourselves. We are being ourselves, but, like, if you guys want us to do maybe, like, a reaction to, like, our fave Supergirl episode, which was, House of L, totally let me know, because I'm so down. I have so much meta to talk about with that, it's not even funny. I love that episode. Amazing. Like, literally, you know? Just anything in general. Need advice? Yeah, if you need advice or anything, like, hit us up. Like, it's gonna be bad advice, it's not. It's free. But it will be advice. Alright, thank you guys. Bye!